Yeah, that's not really.
foul.
Yeah, that's not the part that scares me because like I told you, when I look at digital, I'm thinking about 25 years from now.
Right.
AI has created. It's almost like how they got this saying that everything you see in the movies eventually happens.
Right.
It's actually very true.
Well, iRobot.
Everything.
It's very true.
Matrix, Terminator.
Let me explain how iRobot and this actually relates. Okay, we're talking about AI. This is machine learning.
Yep.
The problem with us as humans, we are just very arrogant and we're super greedy. It's never enough for us. It always got to be more. We always want more, right? As if right now the world ain't amazing that we just ain't satisfied.
Right.
We just got to build better, right? Why? Let me explain with machines or computers, for instance. When you build a computer that can teach itself to teach itself, computers are already smarter than we are.
Right.
Right. Because of the computing power, how fast they can compute things. Right.
The computer is already smarter than us. This is the process, right? So now imagine when the computer itself can teach itself.
Right.
What happens is it'll start teaching itself things that we can't uncode.
It'll code itself.
Thank you. It'll code itself, and you can't control what it codes because depending on the original programmer, whether he's thinking positive or negative, whether he's someone that want to change the world or destroy the world, that's where it becomes complicated. Because if you find somebody that's creating situations that's in his best interest, and he may just be smart enough to code something that's gonna continue to, teach itself to a certain level, then computers become a threat. Let's say hypothetically, computers in the security sector. Everything's a threat to the computer.
Right.
It doesn't know that you're approaching me with good intentions.
Right.
It just knows that you're walking up on me with a gun on your waist.
Right, and it can react.
Right? And your blood pressure is spiked up.
Right.
Maybe just because you just take blood pressure medicine.
Right. Or excited to see you.
Right? The first thing that's going to happen is, and that's what's happening, they're using machines for weapon. But in order to make a weapon, you also got to make something that's going to protect, right? So what's going to happen is everybody that's actually against AI becomes a threat now.
Right.
So guess what? They have to create machines to protect us from those who are against it. Right. Imagine that, right? Let's just say we on one, man, we're not for that. Okay, we're already on record. They know where we live. They know where we at all times. They have all our information, all our data, metadata, everything about us. They know, bro. All this trying to figure out if you're getting tapped, yes, nigga, you are. Bottom line, they know everything. That's how AI is even existing today with all this information, right? So now they know that we're against AI, so-called against AI. We're already a threat to the system. So now those machines are watching us, checking for us. The moment we make a move that feels like it's a threat to the whole situation, we are terminated.
And it can calculate your moves because it'll do probability and say, okay, this is probably
everything.
what this person's
now
gonna do.
Let's take it further, right? They done already dealt with the ones that's against it.
Right.
Now the ones that's against it got families.
They going against them too.
Now they're against it. It's just a matter of time before those machines turn from protecting us to going after us.
Right.
I mean, it may not happen like this, but it's just a matter of time because the more the machines get smarter, they become what takes control of everything. Guess how many jobs are gonna get lost?
Yep.
Millions of jobs.
I already seen the garbage truck with no garbage men.
Now we take it even a step further. The people that lost millions of jobs, right, ain't got no way to feed their family. What they gonna do? They gonna turn to the street or turn to something against their own nature to feed their families. So now they become the outlaw. And guess what they gotta get protected from? The machines now have to protect those outlaws that lost all their jobs because of the machines to feed their families, and they become a threat. And before you know it, something tragic's gonna happen. It's just a matter of time before we kill ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really far-fetched to think what it could do. I mean, it could be as simple as AI is created to protect the environment. Who's the worst person against the environment?
It's
the
those
human.
things.
And then the AI says, the human's the problem.
Because we are.
You know
Ain't the humans controlling the AI though?
No, we unleash it. We unleash it.
We are, all we do.
Wait, so
listen,
it's no one.
This is why it's dangerous,
There's
right?
no one like.
This is why it's dangerous.
The Wizard of Oz been behind?
No.
This is why it's dangerous.
Nobody who controlling it like the
This is
Wizard of
why
Oz?
it's dangerous.
It loose.
We created it
Okay.
to teach and control itself.
No.
It's intelligence,
Yes,
artificial
it's
intelligence. It teaches itself.
There's no senses of it. It doesn't have feeling. It doesn't have emotion.
So there's no big like place somewhere where we like AI is there.
No,
There's a database.
and there's multiple
That's what I'm asking.
companies
There's
and
a
governments.
database.
Like he said, there's multiple entities
Right.
doing it in their own way,
their own
however
set.
they want.
Right.
Like there was an AI that taught itself a language that it was never programmed to even learn a language.
Right.
I think it taught itself Bangladeshi or whatever the name of the language is. But it taught itself.
no such
Bangladesh.
thing.
No. Bangladesh. I don't know. Bangladesh.
Bangladesh.
Whatever, but it taught itself a language, bro. That's wild.
Right.
That a computer taught itself a language without being programmed to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
The problem is we can't control it once it gets to the point of teaching itself.
Right.
Because when it starts to teach itself, it acts on what it teaches itself. So, yeah, you can turn it off. All right, cool, but there's a million other ones that's open right now that's still plugged in. Then when they all, but you still have a big database in every part of the world because they always got separate database in case one go wrong or one get bombed or whatever. But we just talking just basic analogies, just hypotheticals.
Right.
But now we're talking about war because really AI is really to gain knowledge and be able to gain positioning when it comes to war. Threat from other countries and other foreign nations and whatever the case may be. But the problem is the world is living on fear.
Right.
And as long as we're living on fear, everything is a threat. So as long as everything's a threat, nobody's safe. That's the problem.
There's an arms race to create AI.
Right.
Every government is doing it.
Everybody's doing it. But they doing it to use it as a weapon, though. That's what's dangerous.
That's the scarier part. Yeah.
I thought they was doing it just to use Biggie and Prodigy verses.
Nah. You ain't hear Ice Cube? Ice Cube said AI is demonic. He said, you use my voice, I'm suing you and any platform that posts it. And I agree.
That's what I thought.
No, music is actually
No,
I
because
thought it was
listen,
the biggest threat. I'm like,
you
they got Prodigy on Biggie, boy.
I mean, if you're talking about
Biggie on
music,
Prodigy
that is
shit.
demented.
Yeah,
That's-
you
Like,
thinking for
it's
music?
foul.
Yeah, for musicals, you're right. It's endless things like
I
opportunities.
but
I
already.
heard Biggie spit in New York State of Mind. I said, wait a minute, that's Nas.
But what you got to worry about is when Nori is calling the police and say, I admit to this crime. That's what you got to worry about. That's what the everyday person's voice being used.
Right, and that could be done by your baby mama that don't like you.
Yeah.
I'm glad I ain't
That
got one
part.
of those.
That part.
Make some noise for me.
You know what I mean?
Make some noise for me. Because you got like 9 wives, right?
No comments.
You said it last time on the show.
No comment.
No,
You
no
got-
comment.
Rewind that back.
All right, cool. All right, my bad. My
I learned my lesson.
bad.